It's so good now to be live with Claudia Faith. And
Yes.
Claudia, we thank you for joining us on this live stream.
Yeah, happy to be here.
I'm happy to be with you too, Claudia. We've got so much to get through in so little time because we've got time constraints. So we're going to get straight into it and skip some of the friendly incidentals. Your Substack is, okay, you position yourself on your Substack, writing set me free. I want to start there. What does that mean to be set free by writing?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. I think what I trying to say with that is basically that I'm trying to design a life about things that, design a life for me and things that I enjoy doing and know why I'm doing certain things. And my writing journey allowed me to do that pretty much. So I come like from a entrepreneurial background and I have my own startups, and I was very stressed with all the investor meetings and investor talks and all of this. And so I wanted to start really my own solopreneur journey just really by myself. And I did that writing, and it allowed me to be more free and design the life I want. So that's kind of where this comes from.
It's a lovely positioning. I've had a good look at your Substack and what you're doing and how you position yourself. And as a copywriter myself, or retired copywriter, I think I'd be positioning your statement as how to own your audience. You really put a lot of emphasis on this. Why? Why is it so important that we own our audience?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's two reasons. The one more straightforward is that it's a technical thing, and if from one day or the other the platform or any platform out there decides that you're no longer fit their vision, or you violated something, or an AI bot could thinks that you're doing something wrong, you could just with a snip like this just lose your audience that you've worked maybe like really a lot of years like hard work for. So that's the one thing. And then the other thing is, what I mean with own your audience is maybe not so much owning it there in that sense, but just connecting with it and really making it like a personal space for everybody who's part of your audience, to like part of your community, to connect with each other, to make it a kind space, a safe space. And I think that's what I mean with it as well. So not only the technical sense, but also in a more human connecting sense.
I'm very much into the human connecting side of what we do, but you've
Yeah.
got a technical background. I mean, your
Yeah.
background is in venture capital backed business and
Yeah.
entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
which you referred to there in your answer to being free as a virtue from writing.
Mhm.
So there were some. Well, was it stressful? Was the whole deal of venture capped? I mean, the pressure that's on you to perform must be intense.
Yeah, yeah. And I think so. I always wanted to try that on my own, know what it feels like to have investors and VCs and all of this, to find out that I absolutely hate it. And it's really not for me. I'm not a great salesperson. I'm not a great pitcher. I don't like doing pitches and all of this. So yeah, I had to do it to find out that that's actually not so much for me.
Well, I've got to disagree. Uh, you say you're not a good or great salesperson. I totally disagree.
Ah,
I think you're like a passive aggressive salesperson,
yeah,
in that what you've achieved on Substack cannot be achieved without sales, quote unquote. There has to
yeah,
be that angle to it, and I
yeah.
think you are the epitome of a salesperson. I
Mm,
mean, you don't go from 0 to 16,000 subscribers in the
mm,
space of 2 or a little more years. There has
mhm.
to be strategy, and there has to be sales, positioning,
Yeah,
publicity, promotion, and you're doing that. And you're all across Substack, not only with one publication, but two other publications or activities. And
yeah.
one of those that's caught my eye, and
Hmm.
I'm sure it's catching the eye of others too, is, let me just refer to my notes here, because we're not going to get through all my notes here, Claudia. You're just such a busy person. There's
Yeah.
so much to get through here. But let me see here now. Where are we? We've got Comey happening, Comey.io. I want to come. Oh, here
Mhm.
it is. Now, uh, most people are falling behind with AI, and this is the premise behind Kozora.
Yeah,
Tell us
yeah.
about Kozora and tell us how it's helping people to not fall behind with AI.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that question. Actually, Kazora is kind of nice because it came out of Substack connections. So I founded it with two people that I've met through Substack, which I think is very cool. So I never really met them, but we connected. We felt like, hey, we do have all like a business or entrepreneurial mindset. And so we said, hey, we want to do something together in the AI field because all of us had an AI background. And yeah, at Kazora, it's basically the idea that AI is changing so crazy quickly and every day, and no one person can really stay up to date with everything. So what we do is we created like a community, and we just, as of this week, we're switching to Substack because we were on an external platform before, but now we do it on Substack. And every week we bring in a different AI expert who is working every day with AI to give a 90-minute workshop on different topics. So we have people like coming in talking about AI and filmmaking, or AI and images, or AI and writing. And so it's really the idea to just stay up to date on a landscape that is changing so quickly.
I see that you've got now over 1,000 subscribers to Kazora. And I see it's a subscription model. Do you mind if I mention what the fee is, or would you rather people find that out?
No, go ahead, for sure.
So if I stand corrected, it's $75 per month to join Kazora, correct? And so this 90-minute weekly workshop with experts in the field, it really has my interest. Now, you say there in a passing comment, now here comes the humility. You're a very strong salesperson, but you're very humble about it. And so, you know, quote unquote, I have a background in AI, like it's just a passing, like, you know, I used to do gardening, now I don't. But you have a master, now, is this right? You have a master's degree in AI before ChatGPT even existed.
Yeah, I mean, so let me specify a little bit. I have a Master of Science in Digital Health, focusing on AI and digital healthcare. So I used to work with electronic health records and genetic data, and like did predictive modeling with machine learning and all of this before ChatGPT was out. So yeah, so that's my background.
So do you call yourself, in your own head, when you wake up in the morning and you realize I'm Claudia Faith and I'm awake today and I'm a writer, or I'm an AI expert, or I'm a Substack expert, or I'm a communicator, or I'm a salesperson that doesn't really call myself a how do you think of yourself?
I think I'm an entrepreneur. I think first of all, I would say that, you know, I like to do things. I do like to do things where I have a business intent in mind. I think that is important to say. So maybe for some people who call themselves writers, I mean, fair enough. I'm not a creative writer, right? I don't do any creative writing. I did try in my journey, but I felt like it wasn't super suited for me. So I switched more to like a business focused writing. And and I think that's part of me being an entrepreneur, or solopreneur now.
Entrepreneur, solopreneur, no. Entrepreneur?
Yeah, entrepreneur, I would say so, yeah.
All right. Now, Claudia, you 16,000 subscribers on Substack, and all of those have been grown from scratch, or did you import some of those from another platform?
No, I didn't import anybody. I didn't have anybody to import. So I started this in 2024. And I started it in May 2024 on Medium, actually. Because it has been my dream for like, I think about 8 years to start writing on Medium, because I saw all those great writers and I was like, oh my God, at some point in my life, I also want to write online. And so I started on Medium, but everybody at that time said like, hey, if you start from zero, don't do it on Medium, do it on Substack. And I pretty much followed their advice. I was like a couple of months on Medium, but I didn't feel it. I didn't connect with people. And so I stopped that and just moved on Substack and started building there from zero. So didn't have really anybody to import.
It's, you know, I find it staggering. I mean, I just don't want this moment to pass without giving acknowledgement. By the way, Claudia, we thank all of our viewers who are joining us live, and those who are watching the replay, by the way. Thank you for joining us. If you are currently, let me just plug, I've got to plug something in here, Claudia. Excuse me, viewers. Excuse me, Claudia. Otherwise, we're going to go black screen. We need a bit of power to the laptop. There we go. Live tech stuff. Claudia, going from zero on a platform of any platform online, whether it's Substack or Medium or YouTube or whatever, this is quite, in 2 years, this is testament to, what is it testament to? It's you don't just wake up one day. Well, you said you had an 8-year dream. Okay, let's go there. You said you had an 8-year dream to write, and so you did that, and you jumped on Substack 2 years ago. Your first publication. You've now got 3 publications, and you grew to 16,000. But here's the thing I'm leading to in a very long-winded way. You're now into scaling what you've built. There's growth and there's scaling the growth to another level. And that's where you're at the moment, isn't it? So let's talk about using AI. Let's give our viewers some value here now, if we can. What does that mean to our viewers to scale growth using AI?
Yeah. It's actually great that you question me on those things, because I put them on my profile and I think like, yeah, it's so obvious what I mean, but it's actually really good to have somebody double check that. So what I mean in the first place is like, I use AI personally just to make my life easier. So I use it in creating my own systems and tools to help me pretty much automate things that I had to do by hand, earlier on. That's over title generation, images, image creation, using like a preformed structure, even like doing some bits and pieces there of just letting it write in my own voice, because I feed it like my own writing. So really they're automizing everything that can be and should be automized, because I know that there are a lot of writers also who say like, hey, let AI do the things that I don't want to do. And for a lot of people, they want to do all the writing themselves. And I totally see that and appreciate that. And a lot of my writing is myself, but I do like to use AI where I think it's helpful and sensible. So that's one thing. And then on the other hand, what I started doing more is actually helping other business owners, because I know what it's like, to start your own business, how many things you have to think about and all those steps in between, how their AI can really be helpful for you to use it as a sparring partner, to use it as, automating marketing processes, so all of this. So actually, as of this year, I started doing more business and AI consulting as well.
Do you have a favorite AI model that you go to first before any others?
Yeah, I use Claude a lot. I use Claude for everything. I use Claude Code, so it's on my laptop. I use the Visual Code Studio with it, so I have like my terminals up and running and use it there, and it's mind blowing.
And do what has attracted you to using Claude rather than one of the other platforms, Perplexity or whatever? GPT?
I think so. I actually started using Claude Code after I attended one of the Coursera sessions where an AI expert talked about Claude Code, and he showed us, and that's the whole idea about Coursera, that you just see how other people use AI. So he screen shared and used it and gave us like examples of how he uses it, and none of the other tools can keep up with it, because Claude Code can connect to your files, it can do live website searches, it can do anything. And so it's like this whole system just inside your computer, and it can just do whatever you tell it to do. So it's really impressive.
Well, it must be, because if you say it's impressive, that's good enough for me. What are you using a chat? I just want to come to ChatGPT, and then I've got an important question for you. Are you using ChatGPT at all?
I use it for my startup, because we have a startup in healthcare, and there we have a company account. And so everything stays inside this ChatGPT environment. But I have to be honest, I'm not a fan. Like, I see it and I can compare it to Claude and Claude Code, and it cannot keep up.
Interesting. I've just had a divorce from ChatGPT, quite painful, quite public. But look, excuse me. May I just have a sip of my coffee, please, Claudia? Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's early morning here in Australia.
You're in Australia. I didn't know. Okay, that's very nice.
Yeah. It's just 5:20 past 5 in the morning here, but I'm an early starter. Chat GPT. All right, AI. All right, we've covered that. Let's get down to some more basic level here. Excuse me, viewers. I've noticed a little strategy you're using. Excuse me. Pardon me. I've noticed a little strategy you're using on Substack.
Mhm.
You're restacking your own notes virtually straight after publishing it. What's going on there?
uh, so you mean that I restack my own notes? What did you say? When?
Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah.
So very good. So there's something we can do with our posts and even our notes is we can take a line or some paragraph from a post and we can restack the post and just have the paragraph above and it links to
Yeah.
the post. We
Yeah.
can publish a note and then we might even take a sentence from the note and restack it in the
Yeah.
same way. You're actually restacking with no comment or no extra so it's just the note is published, then it's like you're hitting restack and the whole note is republished as a restack. Why
Yeah.
are you doing that?
Yeah, I do this. I started doing this right from the beginning. I usually do it 4 or 5 hours later. So I post it in the morning, then I wait, and in the afternoon I restack it, and I do it to hit different time zones because it's just gonna give your note another push, another here I am to the feed, and it has always been working well for me. So that's part of what I do.
Well, if it's working well for you, that's obviously why you'd keep doing it. And
Yeah.
I'm going to start doing it because,
Yeah.
you know, there's the evidence, viewers. It's working. So you write a note, you publish it,
Yeah.
a few lines or a few paragraphs or, excuse me again. Is this mostly just short form notes? Do you write also long form notes? I know what the answer is, but give our viewers the answer.
Yeah, usually not. I really, really like short form notes. It's
Yeah.
easy for me. It's just, a little bit of brain dump out. It's motivating or inspiring or just a picture of me and my dog or anything. But it's really like more something easy, something I would like people to connect with it emotionally. I don't want it to be that people need to think about too much when they read some of my notes. And that's how I approach notes.
How many notes do you schedule notes in advance or do you publish them in real time?
No, I publish them in real time. I mean, now I'm actually experimenting a little bit. So I have a note scheduler out there because I know that people really, really like to schedule them.
Yeah.
But personally, for me, I've never, I kind of like my routine. I go in Substack in the morning. I write my notes. I get inspired by other people. I see what's on my mind. I write it. But I have been like experimenting a little bit with scheduling notes on Substack with the new Substack feature of scheduling notes,
Yeah.
and I feel that they get more interaction, which is just a theory so far, but that's something that I've been testing.
Well, that's something for all of us to test. Our viewers
Yeah.
who are with us, and thank you for joining us or watching on the replay.
Yeah.
We've just heard Claudia say that she prefers publishing her notes in real time, but she is experimenting and testing with advanced scheduling, including the relatively new inbuilt scheduler that Substack is, and I'm using it, and you're testing it and seeing perhaps these scheduled notes are getting more engagement, whatever's going on there. Well, Claudia, I mean, I've got a full foolscap page here just to show that I'm not telling any pork pies. And I haven't. Can you just give me 10 seconds while I check my notes because I want to ask you something before we go, and I know that you've got some time constraints as well.
Yeah. And if you have a lot of questions left, we can also do this again in the next weeks, whatever so yeah, this was a bit short.
Never let me be shy going, okay, you heard it, viewers. Claudia's invited me to do this again, so we're going to do it again. Thank you. I'm going to take you up on that.
For sure.
So writing sets you free, 0 to 16,000 subscribers, a master's degree in AI as a result of doing a health-related master's degree,
Yeah.
restacking your own notes, the strategy. Oh, yes. Own your own audience, yes and no. All right, to wrap it up, because you said a dream of 8 years to write.
Mm.
And I've got here 12 months from now, where do we see Claudia and what will she be doing?
Are you asking me?
Yes. I can't answer that for you.
I mean, that's the thing. I can't answer that for me. So I've never been a long-term planner. I know you say, like, you know, it looks like I have a crazy strategy in place, but the truth is I don't really, you know. I show up, I see what works. I think I analyze, like, in short time what works and what doesn't work, but I don't have a plan for the next 6 months. I don't have a plan for the next 12 months. It's also always in, like, those interviews, they ask you, where do you see yourself in 3 years? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. And I think I want to live my life like that I'm not really sure where I'm going to be in 3 years. So what I can tell you, though, is I'm pretty sure I'm still going to be on Substack. I'm pretty sure I'm still going to write my publications, one more about AI, one more about writing and community and Substack. So I can tell you that. And I think I'm still going to like it. I'm still going to do lives. And that's all I can say for now.
Well, very good answer. I am reminded of Mike Tyson's quote, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. And the big punch we got in the face, everyone, was back in 2020 with what crawled across the planet. And so, planning is one thing. All right, Claudia, I'm respectful of your time. I know you've got time constraints. You have to go.
Yeah.
We thank our viewers for joining us, and we especially thank Claudia Faith. And Claudia has invited me to rejoin her again to do this again, and with a bit more time to go a bit deeper. So thank you, Claudia, for joining us.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
For joining us, yes, and we'll see you again next time. Have a great day, evening, whatever's ahead for you.
Thank you. Bye.